It is Friday, October 1st of 2021. And this is pretty much part 2 of the Chicago trip for the Macstock Conference and Expo today on Guy's Daily Drive. Bam! Welcome everyone to Guy's Daily Drive. I really appreciate the fact that you are watching and or listening to this as I am on my way to work on this. Really, it's a very nice day. It's Friday. Not a cloud in the sky. The sun is out. It's about 58 degrees. So it feels, it's a nice crisp. What are you people doing? It's a nice crisp fall day and people can't figure out where they want to drive to. This is the bane. It's not just my existence, of everyone's existence. So many stupid drivers. Ugh. So as I was saying, Macstock went reasonably well as it probably was going to, with echo coming off of the projector for the people that were there, and some hiccups in the live rooms and the virtual rooms. I was actually going to do a podcast, or try to do a podcast with GASP, but could not get all my software working, and it wasn't from a lack of trying, because I was talking to him and a few other people in the virtual room, and then everything just kind of went to hell, and none of my I'd forgotten that my laptop was on the Mojave beta, so none of my audio routing software was working at the time. Some of it will work now. So when I get home tonight, I've forgotten. When I get home tonight, I'm going to download the latest versions, and we'll see how that goes. Come on, accelerators on the right. Yeah, there you go. Very good. Thumbs up to all these people. Way to go. So, met up with Mike for breakfast that last morning. Oh, you know what? Forgot to mention this. I went to the Illinois, or maybe I did mention it. Went to the Illinois Train Museum with Dave Ginsburg, and while I was there, I got a text from a cousin who told me that her brother, another cousin, obviously, had a heart attack, and on Tuesday, I think when I talked about this, he was going in for surgery. Well, he's had his surgery, and he had a quadruple bypass, and so far he seems to be doing pretty well. That was the last I heard on Wednesday, so I need to contact my cousin again for an update. Hopefully he's doing well. So, my trip to the Illinois Railroad Museum was cut short, which was too bad, because it's a great place. It really was a lot of fun. And it's always good to hang out with Dave Ginsburg. In Touch with iOS is his podcast, if you want to go check that out. I was actually on his show live on Thursday, in studio, with my bag of mics. So stupid. Why did I bring that old bag of microphones? I don't know. I don't know why I did, but I did. So I met up with Mike on that last morning, Monday morning, and we had breakfast and just talked about various things. You know, I mean, it was just pleasant conversation. It's always good to get together with either Mike or Dave. And hopefully next year the entire conference will be not virtual, but in person. And Mike is promising 3 days, not just 2 days this time around. So hopefully next July we will have a full in-person Macstock Expo. But even more importantly, hopefully this whole pandemic thing will be in the rearview mirror. That would be nice to have that over and done with. Anyway, so I flew home, and Tracy met me at the airport, which was nice because I really didn't want to get in a cab. You know, you come off a flight, and all you really want is, when you're going home, you want something familiar. And getting into Tracy's car and just talking to her on the way home was something I had been looking forward to. And that's what happened there. But I get home, and I had a lovely surprise waiting for me. The iPhone 13 that I had ordered in blue, whatever they're calling blue this year. It has some special color. I don't know. It's blue. It's a blue phone. And it's the regular iPhone. Not the mini, not the Pro, not the Pro Max, just the regular iPhone. It's all I wanted. It's all I needed. And so far, I'm using it right now. It worked great, but the transfer went relatively smoothly. There's a couple of hiccups because Apple, for security reasons, makes you jump through a few different hoops when enabling some of the accounts that you have from your old phone to your new phone. And I understand it, but that means you have to remember all of the passwords, because the iCloud password manager, I don't think, at least not that I could tell, kicks in until the other accounts are enabled. I might have that wrong. But those were like the only problems I had switching over to the new phone. And it is a bigger phone, and I can see when people make comments, and I can actually even sort of see them without like bringing my head forward and trying to squint my eyes, which is a very stupid thing to do when you're driving a car. Pay attention to what you're doing while you're driving a car. That is the most important part. So, iPhone 13 first impressions are pretty good. The screen is beautiful. iOS 15 looks great. I've had to get used to a couple of things with this phone because my old phone, which was the iPhone SE2, still had the bottom button for Touch ID, and this one is strictly Face ID. So there's a couple of changes. To get to the screen that has like some useful utilities like flashlight, things like that, you used to just kind of swipe up from the bottom and that screen would appear. Well, that doesn't really work that way anymore. You have to swipe down from the top on the right hand side in order to make that screen appear with all the little tiny widgets that I like to use. Though honestly, the thing I use the most is the flashlight. Is the flashlight widget. Because I'm an old guy. I need more light. Apple Pay doesn't quite work the same. It uses Face ID instead of Touch ID. And honestly, with masks and everything else, Touch ID just works better for something like that. You know, you bring your phone up to the screen and it says, you know, authorized payment. You push your thumb on the little button at the bottom of your phone and it goes through. Bing, bang, boom. You're all done. With Face ID, it sometimes works, sometimes doesn't work, especially when you're wearing a mask. then you have to double click the button on this. It's like, oh, come on. You know, this is more hoops than is really, really necessary. But I mean, overall, the experience with the 13 for me has been generally positive. The bigger screen is nice. The phone looks better. And except for little things like widgets, which I have to handle differently now, and Apple Pay, everything else is okay. I'm fine with all of that. The weird thing is, now, for those of you who have been watching and or listening to Guy's Daily Drive, I've been going on and on about Samsung DeX. So I bought a S10, which is a phone from a couple of years ago, and it's a nice phone. It's pretty big. It has on screen Touch ID, basically. Now, how well that works, or how well that's integrated, and how secure that is as compared to Apple's Touch ID on the phones and tablets that still use that, I couldn't say. I haven't really researched it, but it does unlock the phone, so I'm pretty okay with that. But I really wanted to find another use for the phone than just being, oh look, I've spent money and now I have this phone that I can use as a laptop or a desktop computer, which is kind of what Samsung DeX does for me. So I've decided this is going to be, that the Samsung phone is going to be my work mobile phone, because I really don't want to give out my regular phone number to everyone where I work to contact me. So I'm going to use this phone instead, and it's on Mint Mobile, which has not given me really any issues for calls. I was having some issues with data, but I don't know how much of that was connectivity and how much of that was just the weird fallables of dealing with Android as compared to dealing with iOS for all of those same things. And I need to play with it some more, I suppose, to see if I would be able to comfortably use Android instead of iOS, just because I can. What's going on here? Oh, I gotta come to a complete stop. But anyway, that's about all I have to talk about today. I'm almost to work, so it's time to start wrapping this up. And I'd like to say thank you to everyone, especially Dee, hi Dee, who has downloaded and or listened, live or otherwise, to Guy's Daily Drive. I'm grateful that you take the time to do so. I really am. And you can contact me, podcast@vertshark.com. You can listen to some of the other stuff that I do, the mymac.com podcast that I do with Gaz and have for a very, very long time. We'll be back on schedule with that this weekend, as well as Guy's Daily Drive and Chuck Joyner's Mac Voices that I usually, not always, but usually do on Tuesday nights. That is a great podcast with a good panel to go listen to on